Hello everyone. Today we will discuss about iron. Iron is the most essential trace elements in the body. Trace element. So total iron content in a human of 70 kg body weight varies from 2.3 gram to 3.8 gram. In this 75% it is present in hemoglobin. Then other proteins which contain iron include myoglobin, then cytochromes, cytochrome P450, then iron sulfur proteins, then some enzymes like catalase, peroxidase, then NADH reductase, then xanthine oxidase, cytochrome C reductase and tryptophan pyrrolase. So these all contain iron. So coming to the functions of iron, as it is present in hemoglobin, the main role is to transport oxygen to the tissues, and carbon dioxide to lungs. Then it is an important constant of myoglobin. Iron is an important constant of myoglobin. Then cytochromes, these are involved in electron transport chain. Cytochrome P450, it is involved in detoxification process. So these are the important functions of iron. Then coming to the sources of iron, mainly two sources, exogenous and endogenous sources. Exogenous, here foods rich in iron include animal sources and vegetable sources. In animal sources, this include meat, fish, then liver, spleen, then red marrow. These are very rich sources, that is about 2 to 6 mg per 100 gram. Then here in vegetable sources, the most important source is green leafy vegetables. That is about 20 mg per 100 gram. Then major rich source is cereals. That is about 2 to 8 mg per 100 gram. Then dates are other good sources. But milk, it is a poor source of iron. Then that is about exogenous sources. Coming to endogenous sources, this iron is utilized from ferritin of reticuloendothelial cells and intestinal mucosal cells. That is the endogenous sources. Then coming to recommended daily allowance, in adult male, it is about 10 mg. In menstruating female, it is 20 mg. Then in pregnancy and in lactation, it's about 40 mg. That is the recommended daily allowance of iron. Then comes absorption, transport and storage. Absorption, transport and storage. The only mechanism by which total body stores of iron is regulated is at the level of absorption. For iron absorption, there is a theory that is known as mucosal block theory. Mucosal block theory. This is the theory for the absorption of iron. So let's see the absorption first. Fe3 plus to Fe2 plus in intestinal lumen by reductase enzyme this is DMT1. Here it is heme, that is HT. This is HT. Then in the mucosal cell, that is enterocyte, from heme by the enzyme heme oxidase Fe2 plus here also Fe2 plus this Fe2 plus here stored as ferritin it is mucosal block. Mucosal block. Here Fe2 plus, here it is in enterocyte. Then Fe2 plus, Fp and Hp. Fp and Hp, here iron regulatory protein IREG1. It is Fp. Then blood Fe2 plus to Fe3 plus, then transferrin Fe3 plus. So coming to the absorption of iron, the only mechanism by which total body iron body stores of iron is regulated is at the level of absorption. For iron absorption, there is a theory known as mucosal block theory. So enterocytes in the proximal duodenum, these are responsible for iron absorption. Here incoming iron in this state, that is Fe3 plus state, that is ferric state, it is reduced to ferrous state, that is Fe2 plus, Fe3 plus to Fe2 plus by the enzyme ferric reductase. The enzyme is ferric reductase. This ferric reductase is present on the surface of enterocytes, and this process is helped by vitamin C from foods. Then this Fe2 plus form is absorbed into the intestinal mucosal cells with the help of a proton coupled divalent metal transporter. With the help of proton coupled divalent metal transporter, that is DMT1. So the Fe2 plus, that is ferrous form, it is absorbed into the intestinal mucosal cells, that is but with the help of DMT1. This DMT1, that is divalent metal transporter, this is not specific for iron because it can transport a wide variety of divalent cations. So once this Fe2 plus is inside, it can either be stored as ferritin or it can be transferred across the plasma, across the membrane into the plasma where it is bound to transferrin. So either it can be stored as ferritin or it can be transferred across the membrane into the plasma where it is bound to transferrin. So the passage of this Fe2 plus across the membrane, it is by another protein that is known as iron regulatory protein, that is IREG1. So most of the Fe2 plus absorbed is transferred to plasma by a Fe2 plus transporter. Most of the Fe2 plus absorbed is transferred to plasma by FP, that is known as Fe2 plus transporter. This Fe2 plus in the enterocytes also come from heme by the enzyme heme oxidase. So from heme, by the enzyme heme oxidase, Fe2 plus is formed. So this iron regulatory protein, that is IREG1, this interacts with this HP, that is known as hephaestin. That is hephaestin. This iron regulatory protein IREG1, it interacts with the hephaestin. This hephaestin is a protein similar to ceruloplasmin. This hephaestin has a peroxidase activity. It has peroxidase activity and it helps in the release of iron from the cells as Fe3 plus. So this hephaestin helps in the release of iron from cells as Fe3 plus. This Fe3 plus in this form, this Fe3 plus is the form in which it is transported in the plasma by transferrin. So overall regulation of iron absorption is done in enterocyte. This is overall regulation of iron absorption, that is done in enterocytes, where further absorption is blocked if sufficient amount is taken up by the body. So this is known as mucosal block theory. So that is about absorption of iron. Coming to the transport of iron throughout the body is with a specific protein, that is known as transferrin. Transport by a specific protein, that is known as transferrin. This transferrin transports iron from the GI tract, to bone marrow, from GI tract to bone marrow for hemoglobin synthesis. Then to all other cells, GI tract to bone marrow for hemoglobin synthesis and also to other cells. Normally this transferrin, it is about 33% saturated with iron. This iron is transported to bone marrow for hemoglobin synthesis. Then this Fe2 plus, it is incorporated in protoporphyrin 9. It is incorporated in protoporphyrin 9 with the help of enzyme ferrochelatase. Then this plasma transferrin iron pool, that is about transport. Then the storage form is, this plasma transferrin iron pool is in equilibrium with the iron in storage forms. Storage forms are ferritin and hemosiderin. Ferritin and hemosiderin. So that is about absorption, transport and storage of iron. Coming to the deficiency manifestations. deficiency, it is known as iron deficiency anemia. Iron deficiency anemia. It is hypochromic microcytic anemia. Hypochromic microcytic anemia. Main causes of this iron deficiency anemia are decreased intake, then chronic blood loss, then repeated pregnancies, then increased demand. So these are the main causes: decreased intake, then chronic blood loss, repeated pregnancies, and increased demand. These are the main causes of iron deficiency anemia. Here, hemoglobin concentration continues to fall. Hemoglobin continues to fall. Then serum ferritin level also decreases. Ferritin decreases. Then total iron binding capacity. Total iron binding capacity increases. Then serum iron level decreases. Then transferrin saturation, that is also decreases. Transferrin saturation also decreases. So hemoglobin concentration continues to fall, serum ferritin level decreases, transferrin saturation decreases, serum iron level decreases, and total iron binding capacity increases. So that is about the deficiency, that is iron deficiency anemia. Then iron overload is also an important clinical concern. Iron overload. This iron overload is due to excessive absorption. It is either due to excessive absorption, then parenteral iron therapy, or repeated transfusions. These all contribute to iron overload. Here, cells start to fill with hemosiderin. Two types of iron overload are there: hemochromatosis and hemosiderosis. Hemochromatosis and hemosiderosis. Hemochromatosis and hemosiderosis. Hemochromatosis, when iron overload is associated with cell injury, that is known as hemochromatosis. Iron overload associated with cell injury, that is known as hemochromatosis. When iron overload without cell damage, that is known as hemosiderosis. Without cell damage or cell injury, it is known as hemosiderosis. It is otherwise known as Bantu siderosis. Then coming to hemochromatosis, this is of two types: primary and secondary. Primary, that is known as idiopathic, and secondary. Here in primary, accumulation of iron as ferritin and hemosiderin. Accumulation as ferritin and hemosiderin in liver and skin mainly. That is the main reason for primary or idiopathic hemochromatosis. Accumulation of iron as ferritin and hemosiderin in liver and skin. Then secondary is mainly due to ineffective erythropoiesis. That is mainly seen in thalassemia. So that is about iron metabolism. This is today's topic. Thank you for watching.